But it feels like we'll get into it though. Game 2 now, Tidebound against NAVI. NAVI backs against the wall here, looking for a Game 2 victory to try and get us to a third game, as we are seeing a lot of tips. Right to nothing to say. Everyone just giving it to the Peng. Here we go.
I'm surprised you're not complaining about the Pangolier pickup, Mikey. You know, you love to talk about seeing this hero.
It's been a while. It is a good Pangolier game, John. You know, I can't always critique these heroes. I've got to relax a little bit sometimes.
Yeah,
you know.
There you go. Just chill out a bit.
Though, John. I'll find a new hero during this TI. Don't you worry. I'll find.
No. I'm pretty sure all you'll be saying is at some point Helm the Dominator, and stuff like I wish we could ban items in the game. At some point, eventually.
Maybe that's actually a pretty good kind of like idea. Just you get item bans before the game starts.
Imagine everyone banned BKB, Lincoln's, and I don't know if you ban Aeon this because you just build Nullifier anyway, but you'd ban Lincoln's BKB in the game. It's like unplayable, dude.
Oh, be amazing. Big wraparound. They have found Y, but they don't really seem to have the control for the Bane, so Y is going to be perfectly fine here. Body blocks perhaps to come from Na'Vi down in this bottom lane. There is some rotations coming though. Planet's also going to be there with Shiro and Y, so they're not going to allow these body blocks to happen for free. In fact, they could lead to kills if the side of Na'Vi aren't too careful. They're trying to jump Y here, but it's going to be the Venge going down first. The first blood coming out for Shiro. And to make matters worse, they don't block anything.
No.
So they gave first blood to the SF and nothing's been blocked.
No, that is not a good feeling. Free Necromastery stacks +3 to get into the lane. Not insignificant. You know, it sounds funny, but that's an easier time to CS. It's more right-click trades that takes less time to ramp into. And that is just not what you want to see here for Na'Vi. I appreciate, again, that they're looking for this aggression. That they feel like they've got the lineup for it, but it's a step too far once more. Not quite respecting that plump up back from Tidebound. And Shiro's going to be laughing his way to the bank. He's got a very free lane up against Venge. There's not much you can do. Mid lane, though, a different story, as Niku, again, with that full bore Scatter Blast, has a lot of damage to pump into Nothing to Say if he oversteps. Level 3 is really the key timing here. Niku's got to find an angle to play with a cookie into a good blast while Nothing to Say is low. Before, hopefully, you know, potentially before the bottle comes in. If you can get that done, again, your lane mid is pretty good. This is a little bit harder to finagle for Nothing to Say, as he does have the range disadvantage instead of parity. So Niku should be able to get away with a little bit more. If nothing else, he will at least find some level advantage here. And that can be massive with the threat of kisses early on.
Pace is on from PMA, just trying to harass Y here in this laning stage. Y going to be perfectly okay. You are seeing a lot of pulls here from Zayat. He's getting away with them though. There's no real contest for it, though they have left PMA behind. And with the razors up, this could be a little bit awkward for PMA. Though he's going to try for the TP play out. Oh, and they haven't got it. They have not got the damage, though he has TP'd all the way back to the fountain. So, bit of a walk of shame here for PMA, and it's not going to feel too good for him.
No, certainly not. He does have the creep wave pulled back, like you mentioned, though, so at the least, it's kind of stalled out where it will meet next. Or at least, though, you would want it in the next wave, but you are just instead ending up with a little bit of a shove-in. You're happy enough for PME. He's going to be able to soak up, still hit some level spikes. It is free farm once more for Shiro, though. Right? Like, again, this SF is going to be left unchecked. And one big change has been that mid. The top lane has been going pretty alright for Got the Juice as well. I mean, he's finding farm. You're also finding farm on Bach. There is a threat, a feasible threat on either side to make a move. It does feel maybe a little bit stronger out from the side of Tidebound once you get some levels up, right? Like, you get the Shackle up, you can start to set up. If you can get away without the Shackle, just get a good spear, get some constant poke out from onto Got the Juice. Can be a little bit awkward for that Doom, but so far, just a stable farming lane altogether. And again, a very good difference here for Navi's end in comparison to Game 1. They are actually finding parity, if not a little bit more extra farm on their cores. This mid lane for Niku, it's been outstanding. Again, it's just good old Snapfire mid against Melee. Not much you can really do here for NTS outside of just wait for the mana to melt and kind of dance around afterwards.
I love what Zayats has done down in this bottom lane, John. Just look at this. PMA's actually level 3. Shiro's stuck at level 2. And that's because they denied away like 3 creep waves. He just kept pulling them and denying his own creeps over and over again. And so Shiro's actually behind the Venge now, believe it or not. It's just, that's how it's worked out. And Zayats, he's still trying to do it. So Y is finally going to intervene and not allow it to happen this freely, but I mean, it feels like they've already kind of done the damage.
Yeah, they have. Still, I don't think you're feeling too bad on Shiro. Right? Like,
they do catch PMA. They do get the long rays first, though. Shiro not wanting to get too close. Just doing a crap ton of damage with his right clicks, however. And now the next Nightmare, once it is up, you are in dangerous territory as the side of NAVI, because those razors, they are going to start to hurt quite a bit. Planet in danger, should be set to fall eventually, and they do get it. Got the juice able to secure with that scorched earth damage.
And you're seeing what a major difference for NAVI having strong laning presence heroes on hand with supports that can actually back them up. I think top lane's been going pretty darn well. Forgot the juice. Bot lane's been pretty good with the avoidance that they're doing and the enablement of that avoidance for Zayats with these pulls.
Oh, they've got a mag.
Soak up, hold on.
Zayats has been caught. No escape this time. YBL will be able to finally find the pesky mag. And Zayats was trying to find a way to sneak back in for those creep waves again, but this time he does get punished. Top lane, bit of a chase onto Bark. Glimpse is not available though for Riddy, so there's no real follow-up to it. But they are just trying to ensure that Tidebound, they do not feel confident up at this top lane.
And trying to get as much as they can from this early tempo that Got the Juice does have. They even Dragon Niku to walk down. Does hit level 6 now, so the kisses are available for any sort of rotation. The question is, where would he want to look? We're also approaching the 6-minute mark, and you have Riddies looking to help secure. There are wards to watch that area, but they at least also have Zayats with a movement down bot. Do have the haste, so this could be a big one. Maybe?
He missed the scatter blast. Top lane, Bark is being hunted down. He's a bit tanky though. They are lacking a bit of damage, and it looks like Bark, oh, he's going to get hit by the kinetic field, but they do have help coming in from Nothing to Say with a very nice Rolling Thunder angle, though he's missed out on the secondary stunt. But he has allowed Bark to just casually walk out of there. So you could call it worth the rotation. That'll be all she wrote there. 2-2, almost 7 minutes into this game.
I will want to make note here, Mikey. I'm taking a look at Niku. He's going for a Dominator into Nags.
Oh, here we go.
The self-spit setup. There is some utility there to go for in terms of just gobbling it up and spitting it out yourself for some good kisses. So, hey, I'm all for it here, Niku. Just need to get it rolling once it's up and running. See if you can get the space. Still, so far, hasn't been able to find the action you'd want with this early start on his snap. You know, no rotation for those kisses to come in just yet, but that opportunity should come out soon. Smoke with Zayats now into the bot. They do not quite have the swap on PMA, but might be able to soak it up soon here.
Oh, they love Shiro too. Perfect target if they can find a cookie here from Niku, and they are indeed going to do so. Oh, he's a bit close though, Shiro. He's going to go for a run, but it's not going to matter. They had the scatter blast to follow up anyway. They'll be very, very satisfied, I'm sure, with the killers. Now top lane, got the juice. Middle of no man's land right now, but is still making his way out. Y will not have Nightmare for another 7 seconds, so chances are Got the Juice is just not going to die here. There is no real follow-up apart from Y just being annoying.
Yeah. And that is forcing some attention away, right? Like, because of that chase up top, they aren't really paying attention to that movement onto Shiro. They can't really TP in to punish. And you can kind of maintain that presence. Gate usage out from Y to head down bot.
They've got swap.
The swap is
They're
up.
going to go on Shiro. Oh, Requiem, though, with the Nightmare setup, going to be thrown out. The stun was late. Zayats, though, he has a chance to skewer back into the Ancients, and he's going to make it. Very nice deny away here from Zayats. Also, a very nice save, though, from Y, not allowing the skewer back play.
Yeah. Just good plays from both sides. Timely use of that gate to line into that movement down. But I'd say this game state is rather interesting. Like, we've seen a lot more play out from NAVI, but you are starting to eke out just a little bit more on Tidebound, just a tad bit here.
No, they're going to go after Riddies. Riddies one hit away, though no, he does barely heal up with the stick charges, and the raise isn't going to land either. But they do get him. Swashbuckle from nothing to say to ensure they get the kill. But NAVI certainly making the kills a little bit more challenging to secure than last game around.
They are. And for the side of NAVI, again, this is a lot more play for them in comparison to game one. We're getting a lot more kills. They're having better back and forths, much better control coming in. There's still a lot of timings they have to meet as well. And the supports are, especially Zayat, still a ways from his 6. Seeing some activity from Niku once more. That was spotted by wards though. Did walk right across it by Roche Pit. So not going to be the easiest time to look for a pick-off. Maybe a bit of an overextension could still lead to one, but again, they are wasting time. This is free space coming in elsewhere for the side of Tidebound. And again, they're doing a great job of just avoiding for the most part. Like, outside of the one death of Shiro down bot, it's almost the same story as game one, where you are avoiding on these larger engagements. You're looking for the farm game, and you are, quite frankly, still finding that timing here for the farm. Like, the Fusel, for nothing to say, isn't too far off, just lacking about 900 gold. At this point, you've got the a little bit of a harder game for Bach in terms of looking for, say, a Blinker Ewells. And that is the one thing that might hold them back a bit. But as long as you find an angle on nothing to say once this diffusal is up, that can kind of compensate for some of these difficulties you're facing on your off. We'll have to wait and see. Still, again, very even game into the 10-minute mark, but this is when NAVI should start to feel stronger. At the 10 to 15, maybe 18-minute mark, if they maintain good momentum, this is when their lineup can really start to melt faces. We're almost at the Dominator timing for Niku as well. There's some shenanigans to pump out there. Unfortunately, the Ags is going to be longer than that. But I would love to see it. I can't wait to see it. Just Dominator, gobble up your creep, forward, and kiss away.
It's going to be fun. That's for sure. TP's out. Looks like there is going to be a bit of a jump top lane where they are going to try and get Barkin. Well, they've certainly got him with the Doom setup. Niku's there just in case they needed the help, and they do not. Got the juice. Able to secure the kill quite easily here on the Doom. And there is one person that's not really having any issues this game at all. This is a very free game for Got the Juice. And unlike last game on the Ursa, he's probably going to maintain his net worth lead the whole game. Assuming he doesn't get caught out too many times.
Should be smooth sailing every single time. It is considering that Shiro is lagging behind, but that is a Doom you're playing up against with Midas. So, all things considered, this net worth lead is mandatory for Got the Juice anyhow. A bit of a rotation down bot here.
They're going to find Zayat. He's got Niku there to help. They'll drop the Fiend's Grip. Cookie is going to help just a little bit. In fact, the Scatterblast as well landing, but the Requiem is still going to make it to the TP way. Can he get out in time? Ooh. He cannot. He's been swapped, glimpsed. Literally everything they can throw at him. At least Y does make his way out, but they lost a much bigger target in Shiro. And well, you kind of question if it's even worth trying to go for those plays. I mean, I suppose they were trying for Niku, but unfortunately for them, they ran into Zayats.
I'm a bit surprised that Tidebound is getting a little bit anxious to play around, especially on Shiro. It doesn't feel like they need to really focus on this Nightmare Requiem combination. Smoke breaks onto Riddies.
It does. Riddies is okay for now. Power Shot is not going to actually be enough to execute either. It's about 10 HP too much on the Disruptor to get executed, so he's going to be alright. Look at that. Tidebound, they're not really finding the kills they've been looking for here in this game number 2. Bottom lane, nothing to say now, going to rotate over with the Rolling Thunder, but it seems like they're very well aware he's made this rotation. So they will look to just retreat, and maybe you find Zayat here, who does look to potentially come back in. The Nightmare from Y would be lovely, but he's not within range for it. And Zayat's going to be perfectly fine to just skewer out of there.
Just missing out on some pretty big opportunities for Tidebound. I do understand why they want to make these plays. They do. It's that fresh diffusal timing here for nothing to say. It's when this Pangolier is like really strong. And you're just looking for these pickoffs. We'll have to settle with a top tier 1 for free. Not the biggest objective at this point, but it will allow a bit of a further reach into that top jungle. Unfortunately, no one's really playing in that area anyhow. And it starts to get a little bit worrisome with what timings are lining up now for the side of NAVI. You're 2 parts away from your Ags on PMA, so you can afford to be more heroic up front. You know, he's going to be willing to throw his body forward once the full Ags is up. The Radiance play, forgot to juice, not too far off either, and he's been maximizing this Midas quite nicely. Always has the option to sell with Devil's Bargain up as well on his facet. So you have a lot of ways you can kind of pick and choose right now for NAVI in terms of how to look for these engagements. Heck, even getting farm out for Zayats into this blink is just going to be pretty terrifying to give free blinks out to the Magnus support. And Tidebound, again, I think the big difference with this game and the previous game is that they made a couple of mistakes earlier on. Like, Shiro was looking to be aggressive up top.
Immediate zoom out onto Buck again, and he's got the backup as well from Niku, just in case he needed it, but of course he doesn't. There'll be another kill, this time to go to Riddies of all people. They'll take it. Bark just not able to really have a game quite yet here on this Mars, still trying to farm that blink up. Now a full Radiance completed on Got the Juice, which is going to make life pretty scary if you are Tidebound. They are even going to find the SF to boot. Static Storm dropped with the kinetic field. Shiro, all he could do was continue to farm. Nobody was around to help him out. And NAVI, it seems like in this game too, they've kind of got their number.
That they have. Again, it's all the difference in the world, just having supports that can actually play early on. That Niku can connect with nicer than Undying Disruptor Dazzle on the last game. Like, this time around, you have some options.
Oh. Riddies gonna get denied off by the neutrals again. Nothing to say, not gonna get anything for his trouble. Immediate tip from Riddies. Oh, jump in, Buck. He's gonna find himself a big target on Niku. And Niku does get executed. And by the way, John, his Helmet of the Dominator wasn't being used. It's a passive Dominator.
No. He's gonna use it when he has the Ags. Trust in that one.
But the gold, John.
That's true. It's not efficient. Good old Niku.
It's not efficient.
No.
Inefficiency from Niku.
No, it's a strange one too. Niku's been a pretty efficient player. Missing out on some gold there. It does hurt. Like, it sounds like we're memeing, but that is the point of this pick. That you get the gold, you get a creep that defends you, you get faster farm. You need to maximize this, otherwise you're really not getting the value, or you're not getting the point of that pickup. Why?
He's trying to be a nuisance here. Nightmare's away. They actually dropped the Static Storm on him just to try and surely get the kill. Glimpse back will do it. Riddies will pick up a nice one for himself. Thing is, Tidebound, they're in that same position we saw in game 1. They don't seem to really want to fight. It just seems like almost a repeat of game 1 in that sense, except this time Navi's off to the better start. But they are being very patient here on the side of Tidebound, and maybe with this blink coming out on Bark, maybe now they try to make the plays happen.
It should start to simplify. I will say, I think Tidebound actually did try to play a little bit more aggressive. Again, recall that move with Shiro, trying to play with Nightmare Requiem and getting punished. I think that's pretty much a big reason why NAVI is in the position they are, because of just that one overcommittal from Tidebound, giving them a window to kind of play around now for NAVI to get in this position of strength. About to get more utility out for NAVI as well off the back of all of this. Blink coming out for PMA next, so Blink swap starts to become a very real possibility here. And that does start to get a little bit scary with how much reach you have. Niku, his Ags, pretty much just one part away at this point. And he's still not utilizing that helm, sadly enough. But one would expect that he's either going to gobble up a creep later on or gobble up Zayats. It's just a matter of time. We'll have to see. You know, eventually.
It's coming. There's certainly some big plays to be made here with this.
Can you imagine? Wait, if he goes for a Overlord and gobbles up a Croaker, oh, that's the play.
The ancient Croaker. That would be incredible, Jonathan. Now you're thinking. We'll see if it happens.
I don't think he's going Overlord. That's a step too far, you know. That's a lot of gold.
It is. It is a lot of gold. But you never know.
But it's fun. One would hope. Still, we are in that point where it's slowing down. Both sides want to farm up. Again, you are farming rather efficiently on Navi. You're about to hit a BKB timing. Forgot the juice. Even the blink up. What's up, Mikey?
Nick.
What's wrong?
Oh, you just
Still
you
not.
let the dominated creep die. You could have just dominated something else, Nick. What are you doing? Oh, the inefficiency. He gives plus 100 to the enemy side. Doesn't use it off cooldown. Oh, I'm going to go rewatch Seb's video, John, just so I can make sure I'm right about this. I know Seb would have my back if he was here, John.
He would. Hey, at least he has
We're
a
best
croaker,
friends now,
non-ancient. And that you guys are.
That's true.
Has had a lot of good conversations. We have a croaker, at least, and Ags 100 gold away. I'm excited. You know, is it croaking time? Step back. He's about to croak. You know, is it?
John, stop. I think you just go for the Zayats gobble up. Like, you just go for the Zayats gobble up here. Just do it.
If they can find anything, take that smoke. It's a little bit risky because they're on the opposite side of the map for a big engagement. I don't know if they'll make it in time. There's some good lines of vision. No one's been playing mid for a quick siege onto the tier 1, so Tidebound should know something's up. No one's shoving in bot. Yeah, they have to know. And I think Tidebound, you know, a lot's hanging here for Navi to get the smoke going. I mean, even the BKB's done now and got the juice. Maybe this fight into Tormentor. That's where it'll break off.
They're going. Well, it's perfect timing if they can get there. Tidebound, they're going to take the Tormentor before this fight is set to break out. Y will pick up a free shards. Probably, it's one of the worst shards, Jonathan, honestly, but doesn't matter. They've got the Tormentor down. Rotations incoming, though. Shiro, kinetic field. No, they're not going to see him. In fact, Park's the one to jump in. He found Zayat straight off the bat, so Zayat's going to get nothing off on this Magnus. They even took down Riddies. It's a horrible fight for Navi. They're still trying to maybe deal with Shiro, but Shiro's going to BKB up. He's perfectly fine to just tank all the gobble up plays. And now the Fiend Grip catching Got the Juice, who still has his Doom up. He never got it off. It's a 1-for-3 trade in the favor of Tidebound, and well, of course they're more than happy to just get out of it.
Yeah, a little bit curious of that decision to move as they did on Navi. Again, we didn't see the Zayats gobble up. We actually saw dominated creep gobble up. The Pine Cone, the Pine Warrior, was the one that was sent in. Not even looking for something like the Croaker before that fight. And it was just a very awkward way to fight. I guess what they wanted was a smoke break, and no one could walk up and break smoke, but you don't want to risk Got the Juice even with the BKB. There's some stuff to go through. You don't want to risk it. Obviously, with your Disruptor, you want to sit back and Static Storm, so they wanted Zayats to march up with Riddies, but then you lose that impact of gobble up RP into kisses. You know, you lose that way of playing. Someone else had to take the risk. I'd say Got the Juice should have been willing to put his body forward on Doom, but not quite the way it panned out. Very good coming out there from Tidebound, evening up the game 8-9. Net worth advantage, not really there, right? It's 1k, less than 1k, not the most impactful, but they have put a stop, at least early on, to this momentum that Navi's looking to play with. Now they're aware that Gobble Up's there. They should be aware the BKB's up as well on Got the Juice, checking the inventory. And so now it's going to be harder to pull that same trick here for Navi. And again, for Tidebound, like you were saying earlier here, Mike, they're just going to sit back, they're going to farm, they're going to scale. They've got the right-click set to come in from Shiro. Arena's always useful. Rolling Thunder's always going to be useful as well, for nothing to say, especially with his Ags only being 300 gold off. Navi, they've got to get things rolling somehow. They'll try with Roshan. A pretty decent start, but the scan is telegraphing that for Tidebound. They are aware. The issue is they can't really go into that area just yet.
See if Tidebound want to try. Like, they are grouping up. It is going to be probably too late, but they are hanging about in the mid lane right now. Roshan's still going. It's an Arcane Rune just sitting at the top rune spot, and eventually it seems like nothing to say. We'll go ahead and bottle that up for himself. And Roshan will finally go down. So they do get away with it. No contest here from Tidebound. Still feels like Tidebound are in this weird position where they don't actually want to fight anyone yet, unless it's absolutely advantageous to them. So they'll get back to the farm game for themselves. Props to Shiro. He's only about 1k behind the Doom anyway, which you would have anticipated it to be a bit of a bigger gap, considering he has that Devil's Bargain facet. but not quite. Shiro's been keeping up quite nicely. And so you wonder, like, at what point Na'Vi feel the need to kind of really push it?
I'd say they're probably feeling that need now with this Aegis up. You should start to look to pressure a bit more, start to think about tier 2s, go for some objectives. Look, their lineup is geared for these fights. We haven't seen RP. Now, we've seen some Dooms, but not in the last engagement. You want to get these spells off cooldown. You want to translate these spells into golden EXP somehow. I think the key issue is the vision game right now for Na'Vi is, it's all right. They've got one forward ward down bot, but no one's really hanging around bot. It doesn't really tell you enough, except they're not there. Maybe you could try to make movements up top. This is where Tidebound has been a little bit more comfy, hiding away from the action. Or, and again, just force the issue, shove in the lane as 5, and work on your positioning and just set up for a push fight, if you can. It looks like that might be the idea. PMA is pretty far, but the rest of the team are clumped around down bot. They just need some creep waves to come in and start to shove in if they'd want to here. We do have Niku, again, properly microing his good old Croaker. I'm surprised.
Oh, they saw Planet. Oh, they missed Planet. They'll get the skewer, the RP, everything being thrown. Planet, he's gonna finally die. It took a lot of work, John, but they got it done.
I'd say that's a really big commitment with RP down. That should actually be an opportunity now for Tidebound. Again, they've got that Blink Arena. 2 lives on God the Juice might hold them back a tad bit. But they know there's no Gobble Up save for a little bit longer. Niku isn't even hanging around the area. And there's no RP. That's a real big threat. The repositional tool, the big teamfight control, is somewhat gone. Still, like you mentioned earlier, Tidebound not really keen on stepping too far out. Only nothing to say now, finding some form here.
Well, nice gobble up into the Ogre Bruiser Ogre Smash. Almost getting go. Oh, no way.
No.
He didn't see him. He didn't see him in time. I think he actually had enough time to get it off too, but nevertheless, he doesn't get there. That's all right. No croaker necessary. Johnny wants to Ogre Smash them, apparently.
I suppose.
We go again.
Niku.
4-man, make it a 5-man smoke. Who do they run into first? They do see Y. Y will look to retreat. They'll hang around their own vision by that Radiant jungle, but the cavalry's coming. PMA will jump straight on the Bane, takes down Y immediately as the rest of the squad look to just run away. Zayat's unable to really get within range for a skewer back, but they'll take what they can get here. It's just going to be a solo Bane kill for now. It looks like they're thinking about reinitiating though. Shiro, he'll get his BKB off, but he's going to look to retreat again, I think. They don't really want to waste their time on the PMA Bane, or rather they do apparently on this Venge. Doom is out. They'll try to chase the SF, but he's going to be perfectly fine to get out of there. Nobody's really dying yet. Mortimer's kisses to fly in, but the TP up from the SF, and no, the glimpse! Oh, the glimpse from Riddies, ruining Shiro's day. They might still find PMA, and they will. And they'll even find the Aegis, but a nice RP into the skewer back on our 2 targets, and the Static Storm to be dropped will ensure the follow-up will not really make sense at all for Tidebound. And that'll be enough for Na'Vi, I think.
Gotta appreciate how well Na'Vi are starting to play. Again, very big difference when they have a lot of things that they can connect together like this, and just a beautiful swap coming out. That's not something you expect. Obviously, when you're playing up against Avenge with a Blink, just the Blink swaps that can just completely drag you away when you feel like you're safe, just a screen away. But how fast Avenge can just gap close in. It's something the game changes. 5k lead coming out for Na'Vi. Very awkward position still for Tidebound as they're still not willing to kind of look for their own engagements. And Na'Vi just pressing all the buttons at the right time, every single time now. It feels like that impact we've been expecting out from Tidebound hasn't really kicked in. Nothing to say. Yeah, he's tanky. Yeah, he's disruptive, but not disruptive enough on this Pangolier with the rolls. And even just the arenas haven't been all too big just yet from Bach. As we have been seeing in the last fight in these highlights. Tidebound have to find a way to start to play. Shiro going into the Daedalus maybe starts to give you that confidence. All right, we're just going to stand and fight. As long as we don't get RP'd, we're kind of happy. just go for just this raw damage to kind of take care of NAVI. But again, NAVI just has a lot of options for these team fights, whereas for Tidebound, there's a lot of pressure on Bach and on Nothing to Say. It's got to be the role or it's got to be the arena that really gives you the opening you'd want, gives you that initial control to actually get that burst window going here from Shiro.
It's certainly tough times here for Tidebound. 7k advantage now standing for NAVI. The thing is, most of that net worth advantage is just sitting on Got the Juice. And that Doom is looking pretty darn scary, but if you find a way to take him out, that net worth advantage just suddenly disappears for the side of NAVI. And it seems like Tidebound are looking to use Shiro as bait to try and hunt something down. The NAVI looking well aware that this could be a bait here from Tidebound. They're going to go for a smoke into an RP play. They found 2 targets, but the skill back playing the Static Storm just going to make them melt. Bach is surviving for now, but certainly not for long. And there goes Y. Being dragged back, even a gobble up play right into Shiro.
What?
Oh, the aim from Niku. Unbelievable. As PMA going for more, looking for the full team wipe. Probably not going to find it. Maybe they will. Even the blood grenade landing. Oh, that gobble up looked like it was max range.
Yeah. And it was. Getting Got the Juice in the right spot at the right time. And NAVI, they're putting in the work as an entire team. But yeah, I have to say, Zayats and that RP just delivering that team fight for NAVI. Handing it on a silver platter. And it's on the 2 targets he really needs to find. Like we're talking about in Tidebound. All the pressure in the world here for Nothing to Say and for Bach. Just taking out of the picture before the fight really even begins for them. It's just over. Even with all the damage in the world that can flow out here from Shiro, without that control, you just cannot hope to take that engagement. And NAVI, their clear advantage now in game number 2. Looking like their odds for going into game 3 very high if they keep this pacing up and don't give any openings to the side of Tidebound. Tidebound, for their part, again, it's still such a hard game. They've been so hesitant to fight. They're so underfarmed on Bach and Nothing to Say. It just doesn't feel like these 2 cores are tanky enough. They don't have any strong enough options to actually take these engagements. The BKB on Bach is going to be good, but it's still a ways off until that point. Try to take a run around with a smoke. It just feels like NAVI is constantly ready to go. Like, pisses are coming back up. RP is only a few seconds away. Could be a nasty fight if Tidebound don't get the angle right here.
Absolutely. They're trying to move in now through this bottom jungle. Nothing to Say going to reveal himself. Full ethereal blade up on Niku. In the meantime, going to be pretty scary to have to play against, I'm sure, as Y gets some vision down. We'll see them immediately. The jump is there. Arena is down from Bach, but the follow-up is not incoming. He's just holding the rest of them back as they try to do with Zayat. Zayat's finally going down, but Y does fall as well as they've got Shiro. Shiro just gets deleted by Got the Juice. The Doom wasn't even committed on the SF. It's committed onto Bach. A double kill here for Got the Juice. And Nothing to Say. There's nothing he can do. He'll at least take down 1, but it's GG. They don't see the path back into this game. It's just too one-sided. NAVI, props to the boys, Jonathan. They have forced us into a secondary game 3.